Tick tock, tick tock. Is it time? I hope it's time. Let's get this ship a rolling. Bon voyage. Hey, I'm back with another fantastic. Whoa, who said that? Another fantastic show. Oh, minutes with Milo. Get the mustache all squared away and swept away, and all that. So, if you're watching this, I don't care when, congratulations. You are one of the few that are smart. You have good taste. You're not afraid to show it. Kudos to you. And I appreciate it. I appreciate it so much. I'll say thank you. Thank you very much. So, if you like the channel, if you don't like the channel, you just want to make me mad, tell you the best way to do it. Like, subscribe, share it. Hey, Roberto. Hello. We having fun yet? Waiting for Clell. He might dip in here later. So, tonight, 79th show, we're going to talk about some world records. And I say this every time, and people ask me, well, why do you have it at 9 o'clock? It seems so late. Because, as Robert will tell you, this is our weekend. This is our Friday. So, Thursday night at 9 o'clock, it's not a huge deal for people that I work with. Now, normal people might be 9 o'clock. But, even if I were a normal person, I'd probably still be up at 9. So, but one of the other reasons is just so much goes on. From the time I get off to the time that I roll around, I didn't put the show up until about 8:30. Just lots of things going on, especially in the summertime. Yards to mow, dogs and animals to attend to, all kinds of things going on. So, I didn't really get to put as much effort into some of this as I had planned on. I came in and stopped mowing about 7:30, and it just went to chaos after that. Of course, I had to eat a little supper. Had some pizza, and had some other things I needed to get done. And the next thing you know, animals are just creating chaos. You got dogs or cats, goats, cows. You know what happens. Everything happens. So, anyway, I made it. You made it. Robert's here. What else do we need to have a good show? So, world records. And I'm going to look at a few. And I'm going to try to pick out some that are maybe semi-interesting. I don't want that over there. I want this one over there. Why can't I just take that one? There we go. I'll take that one, put it over here, and then I'll look them up. Because what I was going to try to do is look up. I've got an old Guinness Book of World Records from 2002. All right, that's just hard to believe. 2002. How many years is that? That's more than years. That's decades. Decades. Geez, can you imagine that? Decades. Unbelievable. So, why? I tried to look up it last night. Why do I have the book? I tried to look up last night online some of these world records. Stop bragging, Robert. This show's not going to be about you. Stop bragging. World's largest human testicle. Testicles. Oh, no. I thought you were bragging about yourself. No, we're not going to look that one up. It's got to hurt. It's just got to hurt. Ain't no way around it. If you've got one that's so large it makes a record, then it is not normal. It is not normal. Now, where was I? So I was going to look up some records online, and it just is very frustrating just to go to their website, and it's hard to search. They give you just a little bit of something. They don't tell you the story. They don't really tell you anything. Like this guy who set a world record by standing on a globe. They didn't even show a picture of him standing on a globe. I'm going to assume that it was a globe of the world, not like a globe of a lamp or the globe of a ceiling fan. But he only did it, and I say this because I can't do it. He did it for 48 hours. He needs a wheelbarrow. Sounds like he needs a testicle bearer, you know, somebody to carry it for him, or some bodies to carry it for him. See, I don't know why. Why would you do that? Why would you keep that? Why not just have it surgically removed? I can't understand. So, world records. Trying to look them up. Didn't show a picture of him standing on a globe. He did it for 48 hours. End of story. Just end of story. And I thought that was very frustrating. So I dug this book up that I'd given to my son several years ago. There's Clell. Just got here. You haven't missed anything but Robert bragging. You can read the comments there. So what I was planning on doing is looking them up in the book and then double checking on the internet to see if they'd been broken. So I've looked up a few, and some of them are interesting. I try to pick interesting things. So I've bookmarked some of these. And some of them we'll just flip through. But let's go through and look at some of the ones that I have bookmarked. Okay. So here we go with the okay junk. I don't know. What was I saying instead of okay? Crocodile? Something? So let's use crocodile. I want to try to stop saying okay. For tonight, it's going to be crocodile. This is what I kind of find interesting. Greatest distance traveled on a pogo stick. A Furman, a guy's last name's Furman, or maybe it's a girl. I can't pronounce the first name. In the USA, jumped a distance of 23.10 miles on a pogo stick in 12 hours and 27 minutes on June the 22nd, 1997. The record was set on the running track at Queensboro Community College in New York. Wow. So most tracks are a quarter mile. 4 laps makes a mile. And then they went 23 miles. So 4 times 23, 12, 8, 9, what, 92 laps or so around the track in 12 hours. So they did it in June 97. So they got long days. So you wouldn't have to necessarily, let's just say you start at sunrise. 7 o'clock in the morning, you start hippity hopping into the barber shopping, and you're going around this track on a pogo stick, and it's still daylight. But it might be hot, June. Maybe you'd want to do it at night. Do they have lights where it's cooler? I bet you'd want to try to do it at night because it would be cooler. I mean, I have tried pogo sticks and have never been good at them. My sisters could do them, but I couldn't do them. And I can't, people do all kinds of crazy stuff on them. But they're going for distance, not just for time. So they're going for distance. And so they had to, lean into the pogo stick. And they had to lean into it just right so they could hippity hop, hippity hop, and then they had to lean to the side to turn the curves. So a little more going on there than just bouncing up and down, bouncing up and down. But dude, that was in '97. Let's see. I wish my desk was a little bigger. How does that? Greatest distance traveled on a pogo stick. Let's just see. I can't type without looking. And then still I stink at it. Okay. So Guinness World Records shows that the longest distance pogo stick jumped in 24 hours. In 24 hours, achieved by Jack Sexty, Sexty, of United Kingdom, at the Manchester Marathon, something 26.2 miles. So he pogo stick a marathon. Okay, pogo stick jumping world records. Let's see if it shows this. Most jumps on a pogo stick. Huh. So they've got this broken down. Let me just share this because this is kind of interesting, and it's kind of share my screen, select the window, clock, no, pogo stick world record jumping, allow, add to the stream. I don't know if you can see that. Robert probably can't see it because I get tired of driving that far. Now I know what, you wonder what these people do in their mind while they're doing these crazy distance things. Of course, pogo stick, if somebody's been doing it long, it may not be like walking, so you probably can't, you probably got to concentrate some on the pogo stick. But if you can read this one, this line right here says records above this line are non-stop records. After the line, 5-minute rest breaks were allowed for each completed hour. So up until 76, through 76, up until basically 77, if you were doing pogo stick, you just bounced for hours. The record was 10 hours and 1 minute out of Waterford, Connecticut by William Hanrahan or something like that. 70,076 jumps, I guess. But he did that without a break, non-stop. Non-stop. That was like the guy, my human tortoise, who ran that 5 days or so. I say he shuffled that 5 days or so non-stop. I assume he went non-stop. Maybe that's not necessarily the Gaston's crew, but this is a record that is being scrutinized, and if it says that, I mean, I have no reason to believe otherwise. 10 hours. So then after that, after 76 and 77, you see how people went 11, 16, 19, and 20, but they got a 5-minute break every hour. Longest distance jumped on a pogo stick. All right, let's see if this person's in there. Okay, there's Jack Sexty. Who was that? Who was that person? Furman. Okay, here is the Furman person. 23.11 miles in 12 hours and 27 seconds. Ashrita Furman, June 22nd, 97. Okay. So that record held until looks like July of 2012, and somebody else went 23.22 miles. See, that's what would kill me. That's what would kill me. So in 97, this person went 23.11 miles in 12 hours and 27 minutes. 15 years later, somebody went 23.22 miles, but it took them 14 and a half hours to do it. They went 0.11 whatever that of a mile, and it took them an extra 2 hours and 3 minutes to do. Maybe the dude was like 80. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see what happens if I click on that name. Wow. I don't know where that was going. But I just noticed when I clicked on that person's name, this Ashrita Furman held 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 distant records on a pogo stick. The first record, I'm gonna say she did was in January 8th, 86, New York. She went 11.1 miles with no time. Then she went 11.53 miles in Mount Fuji, Japan. Then she went 13.6 miles, and that was 5 hours in New York, and so on and so forth. She went to Seoul, Korea, Mount Fuji, Japan, and then back in New York. So, man, she was just pogo sticking everywhere. Well, fastest mile on a pogo stick. She held some of those records. She did a mile on a pogo stick in 12 minutes and 16 seconds. 12 minutes and 16 seconds. So now, 4-minute mile is common for runners. She's pogo sticking, and it only takes her, I won't say 3 times as long. Would that be right? That seems pretty quick. It seems pretty quick, and I don't know. All right, so fastest marathon, most pogo stick jumps in 1 minute. She did that. You know that's got to be tiring. She did the record. She held the record in 2008 with 238 pogo stick jumps in 1 minute. So in 60 seconds. Somebody get a phone out. Somebody get a. Robert's throwing it out there. I don't think a person should not be able to take any break at all for records. What if it's like, doing something with the fewest breaks? I mean, that might be a world record. I don't know what that might be. I don't know what that might be. 238. Let's see. Somebody's going to make me do math, and it's not going to be in my head. Because there's no math floating around up inside that. Let's look at that. So 238, divide that by 60 seconds. That's 3.96 jumps per second. Almost 4 jumps per second. 1001. That was 4 jumps right there. And it kept up that pace. Well, averaged. I'll put it that way. Averaged almost 4 jumps per second. So maybe start it out quicker. I don't see how. I mean, that's really ripping it. All right, enough pogo sticks, man. Let's get on to something else here. So we'll take this off so you can see my beautiful face. Let's look at one of these other things. See, this is kind of crazy stuff here. Baby Run. Baby Run since 1981 in London raises more money for charity than any other single sporting event in the world. A record-breaking $35.8 million was raised on April 16, 2000. The last marathon, which figures are available in over 149 million, has been raised altogether. 31,542 runners competed in the 2000 marathon, and one of 445,000 who have completed it since 1981. But they run in, I guess maybe, I don't know, all of them do. But this person ran in a baby costume. So, look, oh yes, we got to look it up. Raises more money for charity than any other single sporting event in the world. Run, baby, run. London Marathon. Let's just look that up. Maybe they all don't run in that baby suit. Maybe that was just for stupid people like me to guess. London Marathon. Uh, okay. Apparently, it is a humongous deal. Humongous. Let's see what the Wikipedia says about it. The London Marathon is an annual marathon held in London, England. It is the second largest annual road race in the UK after the Great North Run in Newcastle. It was founded in '81, typically held in April, although it's moved to October for a few years because of the pandemic. The largely flat course is set around river Thames, whatever, starting in Blackheath and finishing at the Mall. The race has several components. It's a mass race for the public, professional racers for men and women, long distance runners, elite level wheelchair races for men and women, plus a 3-mile mini marathon event for under 17 athletes. The mass race is the largest marathon event in the United Kingdom and is the third largest running event. There is a significant charity running aspect to the marathon, with participants helping to raise over 1 billion lira, or francs, or whatever they use in England, pounds, since its founding, including 66.4 million pounds at the 2019 London Marathon, which was the highest amount for a single day fundraising event. Well, then they all don't run in baby costumes. Hey, there's Craig. I've been reading. Didn't see you jump in there. So, Craig, did you run in the London Marathon? Is that you right here? Are you sure? Maybe use the teddy bear. Cute teddy bear. All right. So this is something I just turned the page on this, and if you if you watch any of these reels from Instagram or Facebook or something like that, you see all kinds of things. And one of the things that's always amazed me is a girl that does this. Now, this isn't the same one, and I'm sure there's probably other people, males, females, that do this. But see her at the bottom? She's shooting a bow and arrow with her feet. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's crazy how accurate this one girl is. It just blows my mind. So let's see what some of the other things are that I had found noteworthy. Uh, mm, most people scuba diving. On April 17, 1999, at Saipan, Northern Mariana Islands in the Western Pacific Ocean, 215 people set a record for scuba diving at the same time at the same location. Most people walking on stilts. This is mass participation. During the, can't even pronounce it, it's a 99 parade in Santiago de Cali, Colombia, on July the 25th, 1999, 152 people aged 6 to 37 walked on stilts for 1.86 miles. Let's just go that extra 2/10 of a mile or whatever and make it a 2 mile. Did somebody fall over and then they all just all fell over at the same time? Craig, did you grow a beard while you was doing like off, while you were off? And you've been off long enough, you should have one. Come back with the go bushy mountain man beard. Mm. Now let's see what else we got. I'm not going to do the space ones. Let's see. We ought to go back real quick. Let's see if I can find one of those. I was going to double check some of these, like I did the pogo ones. Which one? You want to do the most people walking on stilts? Let's look at that real quick. See if somebody's broke that record. Most people walking on stilts. Huh. Well, still the same. I think. Yeah, it looks. There's a couple places says it's still the same. Hmm. Okay, so there were some pictures. Some people walk like the wooden ones, right, where you hold on to them under your arms. You walk. Some of them have the cheater stilts, like what drywall guys wear, and then some of them have the cheater stilts like you'd see in a circus. I don't know how they work, but really long legs. It's probably like the ones that they use for drywall, attached below the knee, to give you leverage. Oh, Craig says nope, shaved today. Oh well, you had an opportunity. Well, let's see what Guinness World Record shows. Because this record holder thing says there's still the same number, but they are not the record keeper of all things breaking records. Come on, really? I just want to see the one thing. This is what I find very frustrating about this thing here. Let me share this with you. So I asked, this is the Guinness World Records. I don't understand why it's got to be like this. There we go. Most people simultaneously walking on stilts is 959 and was achieved in, you try to say all that, in the Netherlands in 2011. Huh. So 17 primary schools in this Netherlands country, district, I don't know, on September the 6th, 2011, attempted to set a new world record. They had to walk 100 meters all at the same time on stilts. 957 of them made it, and thus the old record set by 737 professional stilt walkers from Canada was smashed. I'm a professional stilt walker, and I got my butt handed to me by some primary school kids. Yeah, so interesting. Interesting. What is that? Huh. Yeah. So 957 walking on stilts all at the same time. That's pretty crazy. That's a big jump from what we had here in the book, 2002 book. Let's see what else we got. I looked at one here. There was one about the tallest snowman. Okay, so here's one that's near and dear to everybody's hearts. For better or for worse, 120 inmates of a prison in Brazil married their fiancés at the largest mass wedding ceremony in a prison on June 14th, 2000. Wow. Let's see. 120 inmates. I think it goes down here. Uh, da, 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 da. The prison houses 7,400 inmates and is best known for, uh, oh, it calls it a massacre. I'd say it's a riot where in 92, 111 inmates were killed during this incident in the prison. But they had 7,400 people, this prison, and 120 of them got married all at the same time. So I wonder if they got married and then they said, see ya, split y'all up. There ain't no honeymoon at this prison. Y'all just wait till you have to get out to have your honeymoon. That would be cruel and unusual punishment. This is something I found interesting too. I don't know why, but I did. Most common method of execution. And they don't say it here, but I think it's mostly by country. All right. So you get in your mind what you think the most common form of execution is. I'll I'll wait. Okay, ready? The most common method of execution is by firing squad, which is practiced in 73 countries. In 45 of these countries, this is the sole method of executing criminals. Now, I'm not sure if it's done in the United States. I think it still is. And the way that I understand it, because I thought when I was younger Does the U.S. still use firing squads? There was a man put to death by a firing squad. Idaho becomes the latest state to permit execution by firing squad. 4 other states, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Utah, and South Carolina, also currently permit executions by firing squad according to the nonprofit Death Penalty Information Center. So I think this was in Utah, and I think the guy got to pick his method of demise. And I think he picked the firing squad. When was the last firing squad in the U.S.? In 2010. Ronnie Lee Gardner was executed at Utah State Prison June 18, 2010 for killing an attorney during a courthouse escape attempt. Is it painful? So, I can't remember how that works. There's like 7 shooters. And I thought there was all but one was blank. So nobody ever knew. It's almost like a placebo effect. Nobody knew who had the one true bullet. But that doesn't make sense because you'd have to be an expert marksman and standing, really close and shooting at a known lethal point to kill somebody with one shot, fatally, just that quick, one shot. I just don't think that you could do that. So, but maybe that's a discussion for another time. So, still done in the U.S. Let's go on. Sole method of execution. Hanging is the second most common method. So Clell thinks they're all loaded with live rounds except one, and nobody knows whose that one is. So in your mind, you could think, I was not the one that shot and killed the guy. Maybe that is the way it works. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? Yeah. How many people are on a firing squad? I think like 7, or maybe you take volunteers. So hanging is the next. Hanging is the second most common and is practiced in 58 countries worldwide. Beheading is still practiced in 3 countries, while electrocution is practiced only in the U.S. Huh. So electrocution, an electric chair, is only in the United States. That is bizarre. I wonder why that is. I don't know. Let's get off the interesting stuff, go on to something else. All right. So we've been on here 38 minutes. So, depending on where I looked, I couldn't find one that broke this world record. So I'm just going to say it's still probably current. Bethel, Maine, and surrounding towns built an enormous snowman measuring 113 feet 7.5 inches tall over a period of 14 days, completing the snowman on February the 17th, 1999. The 10-story snowman named Angus, after a mayor, was constructed using 197,762 square feet of snow. He finally melted 15 weeks later on June 10, 1999. The date had been the subject of a sweepstakes. Who do you think judged that? The melting. So it's like it'd be like a baby pool at work or someplace. Hey, uh, Anita's pregnant. How long? When do you think the baby's going to be born? Month, day, and time within probably give or take 30 minutes to an hour, something like that. So, but the baby's born, pops out, the doctor catches it, and boom, that's born. But when does a snowman melt? So when they were putting together this snowman, this is what goes through my mind. Live science says they're only 25 feet away. So those are 7 dudes in a firing squad. They stand 25 feet away from the person. And is he blindfolded? Yeah, I think he's blindfolded. And there's supposed to be 7. Only 6 have real bullets. And they each fire 1 round. I don't know, man. That'd be a toss-up. Most execution orders are, you know, hung by the neck until dead. I wonder if they're, shot at a firing squad until dead. Or electrocuted until dead. Like in what was that, the Green Mile? Shoo. Anyway, back to the snowman, back to fun stuff. Let's go back to fun stuff. So I'm thinking like that. That's a pool. People place their bets, and then whoever's the closest or right on the money gets all the money. But how do you do that with a melting snowman? When they're building this big, huge thing, and it's huge, it's 10 stories. I don't know what its footprint is. Did they take a teacup? Did they take a thimble? Did they take something and put that very first snowball in it? So that when it starts to melt, this is the last place? And it melted in June. So, what happens if it leans like the Leaning Tower of Pisa? It starts to lean and then topples over and just spreads out across the yard. Do they rope it off so nobody can come along and pick up, start throwing snowballs? I mean, or is it just like, Harry, go out there every morning at 7 o'clock when you come into work and see if you see any snow left over from that stupid snowman. And if you don't, then we'll say he's melted. Is that the way it worked? Was there any, scientific process going through? Or is it just like I said, Harry walks out there and goes, well, man, I don't see snow anymore. I'd say, dude's gone. It's melted. Woo! And then whoever picks that day gets the moolah. Gets the moolah. So let's see. Hmm. Wow. Largest film stunt budget. More than 3 million of the 200 million went towards film stunts in the most complex scene. 100 stunt people leapt, fell, and slid 751 feet as the ship broke in half and rose up out of the water at a 90-degree angle. The exterior set was 775 feet long. It was a copy of the Titanic, only 10% smaller than the actual ship. I wonder if that's still the case. Let's see how did they, largest film stunt budget. Largest film stunt budget. Huh. All right, so the Guinness World Record still shows that the Titanic has the biggest budget. 12 most expensive movie stunts ever filmed. Let's see what that says. Oh, don't start giving me a bunch of crap here, people. Okay. Here are the 12 most expensive movie stunts. The General train crash, described by none other than Orson Welles as perhaps the greatest movie ever made. The General remains the undisputed masterpiece of the incomparable Buster Keaton, a man with a facial expression of an Easter Island statue. Keaton was top Hollywood's elite time when he wrote, directed, produced, edited, and starred in this Civil War classic. Man, if you're going to be, famous movie, just, do everything. Do everything. He wrote, directed, produced, edited, and starred. Make your own millions. Handed a then breathtaking $750,000. He burned through $42,000 of it, filming the most expensive stunt in silent movie history. Greg, you and Robert need to get together and discuss your world records. How do they know that? Do they chop them off and measure them, or weigh them, or do they just maybe she had her toe on the scale? So let's see. 11th, The Amazing Spider-Man web slinging. How much did they spend? Well, it doesn't say. Why would you say it's one of the 12 biggest stunts and it doesn't have how much it cost? Huh. Terminator 2 helicopter crash. Let's see if they tell you what. Of the film's then record-breaking $1.5 million budget, 51 million was spent on the game-changing stunts and special effects. So that's the whole thing, not just the one, stunt. Dark Knight Rising, plane hijack. Dark Knight Rising. Batman trilogy. The director spent as little as possible his record $257 million budget on CGI. Huh. Doesn't say how much he spent. There they are hanging underneath there. I don't know. I haven't seen that. Swordfish, helicopter, and school bus. I haven't seen Swordfish. Bus hijack in 2001. Swordfish was filmed almost entirely on location in the skies above downtown LA John Travolta's bus full of hostages is plucked from the ground by an enormous helicopter and flown through the city to escape pursuing police. Huh. That was interesting. I don't think I saw that. Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol free climbing. Let's see. Taking 5 months to plan and 4 days to film, the scene finds crews scaling the outside of the tallest building in the world as he tries to gain access to the hotel's server room. After rehearsing for months on a replica section of the building, the shoot itself found crews harnessed to the outside of the real Burj for up to 10 hours a day, with the skyscraper's glass panels superheated by the Dubai sun to nearly 100 degrees Fahrenheit. In the end, only CGI used in production was to remove the wires securing the actor to the building. Huh. In this latest movie he does I don't know what makes it so special, but he rides a motorcycle off this ramp and does a base jump. Oh, The Spy Who Loved Me, the ski jump. Now we're getting some, old stuff. Shot in one take, mountaineer and stuntman Rick Sylvester's mind may have been distracted by his huge $30,000 payday on his approach to the leap. Too slow of a takeoff, he also got his legs tangled and fell for longer than anticipated, dropping out of the shot of the aerial camera. Fortunately, a backup rig had been secured below the ridge of Mount Asgard on Baffin Island, Canada, which caught the moment in all of its glory. So it didn't go as planned. Bond. So in the movie, Bond is soon skiing for his life from pursuing Russian thugs. The twisting, turning, backflipping chase culminates with our man launching himself off a cliff edge, falling for an eternity before deploying a standard issue Union Jack parachute. While the theme music open fanfare follows him down, and movie audience is the world's over jump to their feet for standing ovation. Shot in one take, mountaineer and stuntman Rick Sylvester's mind approached the leap too slow of a takeoff. He got all his legs tangled and fell for longer than anticipated, dropping out of the shot of the aerial camera. Huh. Cliffhanger aerial rope transfer. They don't tell me. Iron Man, free fall. That was pretty scary. Inception, The Matrix Reloaded. I don't know. Still like that the Titanic has the winning. All right, well, 53 minutes. Some interesting things out there that people do to do a world record. I would have thought, maybe for another time, I thought I'd do like a maybe a little series on world records and see, put it together a little more like the hobby series. I don't know. May do that. Another thing I was thinking about is getting the boys back together and playing a game of name that movie. And what I was thinking is we'd all maybe, if I can get them all together one night on a show, uh, coming up with just one-liners, one-liners from a movie, and seeing who can guess the movie that it's from. So I'll pick one just as an example. Talk to me, Goose. That's it. Just say that. See who chimes in off the show in the show, and see who can answer. Now, you say Top Gun, you got to get it pretty close. But I was thinking of coming up some of those. So if you'd like to see something like that, where we get some of the guys from work together and do a show where you do movie one-liners, and I would have to pick Maybe we could do a round robin. Everybody that plays gets to pick. Or I could make up a bunch. And it would have to be movies that are old and new. Because we got some young guys at work. Maybe they haven't seen these older movies, you know. And so it might not be fair for, to pick all the ones that, I would assume that some of us watched, growing up and then, in adulthood. Are you going to draw them guns or stand there and bleed? I'm drawing a blank, Cleo. Drawing a blank. Are you going to draw them guns or stand there and bleed? Anybody else? Well, nobody's answered Cleo's. I'll be back from the Terminator. But now, are you going to draw them guns or stand there and bleed? Sounds like a Dirty Harry. Tombstone. If that's a movie, I don't think I've seen it. It can't be one of them silly miniseries TV shows like Yellowstone or what is that one Kevin Costner's in now? Everybody's in love with. Tombstone. I don't know. But I was thinking about doing that. Getting some guys from work on, guests. Maybe they all don't want to play. And just doing a little quiz, picking out some movie quips, sayings, like, here's looking at you, kid. But you can't say it like Humphrey Bogart. You just got to say it like normal every day. Here's looking at you, kid. Or I'm on top of the world, Ma. Something. I can't use them all now or I'll run out. So anyway, I appreciate it, man. This is like almost an hour, 57 minutes. Craig, thanks for stopping by. And I think you said that lady with the biggest breast was still alive. So that's good. But that would just be painful. Just like Robert's deal with the dude and a testicle in a wheelbarrow. Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you do that to yourself? Anyway, all right, everybody, I appreciate it. Tell your friends, tell people you work with, tell me, tell Robert, tell Cleo that we're going to try to get this going. Get everybody, like I said, bring the band back together and play a little game. So, or maybe I'll just do a little better research. I just found the book, Guinness World Book, last night. You could double check a lot of them. Robert wants to know, is that one of them or both of them together? I would say both. 40 pounds a piece is still huge. Bowling balls are 10 or 11 pounds. So maybe wear your baggy breeches and nobody would notice. So everybody look for more podcasts. I put the dad joke one up, and I cheat a little bit. I listen to my own podcast, so I get at least one listen. Excuse me. And I had my earbuds in, and I had to go to my wife and hand them to her. And I was reading through some of the dad jokes because they still just make me chuckle. But anyway, all right, everybody, I appreciate it. Check back on Monday. Probably Monday won't be. I have to work it up with the guys. I'm not going to see them again until Monday. So probably a week from today, I'll try to set up this little movie quiz contest and see how that might go. So I don't know what'll be Monday. But anyway, I appreciate everybody. Good night. Craig, I know you missed it. It's been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time going back to work for 2 days and doing 7 days worth of work. And then I get to go on call tomorrow. Man, it can't get any better than that. It's just so pleasant. All right, everybody. See you later. Bye bye.